All right, everybody, welcome. This is Lester Barron on behalf of the Dominica Livestock Cooperative. We are kicking off this evening with a series of educational sessions and pretty much controversial topics as well regarding our livestock in Dominica. And I'm so grateful that the livestock community is growing and thriving, and people are excited, and we are seeing lots of improvements in the sector because people are investing in their farms. And so I'm just first of all honored that we have several farmers on the call with us tonight. And these farmers have made major investments in whether it's infrastructure, building of animal pens, fences, importing animals, improving their genetics. All kinds of investments are being made, right? So I just want to honor and thank our farmers for being on and being a part of the vision of the livestock cooperative, which is to ensure that our families, our farmers have better lives. And so I'm very grateful. Tonight's topic is going to be controversial. We're going to open up the floor for feedback, thoughts, questions, perspective, reaction, opinion. We're going to be talking about a very sensitive subject, but it's a very real subject, right? And that is goat thieves of Dominica. And tonight we're going to be first unpacking, just by way of you that love details or love an outline. We're going to be talking about number one, why that is important to us, right? So number one, why we're building the industry. Number two, why it is important to us to not have people steal what we're building. Number three, how what we're building will impact the future, right? For us and our next generations. And number four, we'll open up for your thoughts, your perspective, your questions about how we can work together to mitigate this situation. So with that said, I'm going to introduce our first guest speaker this evening, who is Mr. Kim Frederick. And he lives in a village called Viecas. Yeah, everybody here may know Viecas, but it's one of the most beautiful parts of Dominica. And he and his family have been farmers for a very long time. And they have continued to work hard to develop their livestock. We're going to talk about maybe some of the challenges they've experienced with people stealing animals or whatever else. And then our second guest speaker this evening is Mr. Colonel Mills from Portsmouth. He is the vice president of the Dominica Livestock Cooperative. And so I'm looking forward to having conversations with them. And for me, just so everybody knows, I'm Lester. I'm the public relations officer of the Livestock Cooperative. And I live in California. And I grew up, I was born in Dominica, grew up there till I was 15, then left to come to the United States for studying, then came out here, began my career, and I've been here for 27 years now. But my heart is really in Dominica. So I wish I could be home every weekend, but unfortunately, that's not the reality at the moment, although it soon will be, I'm sure. But I'm looking forward to every time I come down to meeting more of our farmers us really building something great together because we've already started. So with that said, Kim, can you hear me on the call tonight? I'd love to introduce you and see if we can get the ball rolling together. Let me know if you can come on. All right. So I am going to kick it off with something that's important while we're waiting for our guest speakers to come on. Number one is this. What we're doing together, and if you haven't, if you don't know yet, we have created a website called dominicalivestock.com. Okay. And I'm going to share it with you where we're posting updates on everything that's happening. And we are giving news and information and details about, what we're doing together as a group. And anybody and everybody is welcome to be a part of the group. And the whole purpose, if you go on here, dominicalivestock.com, you will see our mission, our vision, what we plan on doing to revolutionize the livestock industry in Dominica, and you will get updates on things that are happening. For example, look at this handsome farmer here who received a gift of a goat from one of the other members, and he's a member as well, and he was gifted this goat here from one of the members, right? And look at that smile. I don't know about you, but they say a smile is worth 1,000 words, 1,000 words. Well, that smile is worth 1,000 words, right? Because he was so happy. And it's not just about giving animals away, but if you look here on the gallery in on the website, what you will see is we have so many incredible improvements since we started the cooperative, right? Look at these ducks, look at these goats, look at all of these are savannas that were imported from Antigua, right? This is a boa that was imported from Guadeloupe. Horses being born right on the island now. There's one of these different savannah meal we have. This is us getting together for planning and ideas and feedback. This is the chief vet of Dominica and Tony Cyril of ICA, Dr. Sentemi and ICA, one of our members. And what we're showing you is we're highlighting a lot of the improvements being made out there, right? This was a bull that was imported from Totola, Senepol bull, another young savannah, some ducks, right? Of course, our local kittens, more goats. And you can tell that what we want to do is we want to improve livestock and therefore improve lives. And so we've worked with chickens and goats and pigs and cows and all kinds of animals on the island. But Kim has been a farmer for a very long time in Dominica, and he's experienced pretty much everything you can probably experience when it comes to livestock. So Kim, first of all, thank you for taking the time away from your family this evening to be here with us. I'm very, very grateful. And why don't you tell everybody a little bit as we have this living room conversation together about where you're from, how you got into livestock, and what the game plan is in terms of your vision for the future when it comes to livestock. So unmute yourself and take it away, please, if you don't mind. Yes, I can hear you now. Go for it.
Yeah, Lester, thanks. Thanks again. Um, well, I'm Kim Frederick from Vickers, and I'm a mechanic by trade, and I'm a farmer, livestock farmer by passion. That's my passion, livestock farming. So, yeah, I've been doing livestock basically all my life. Even when I was learning trade or doing trade in Roseau, I have been taking part in livestock rearing in Vickers with my father and my brothers. Yeah. So not just goats, but I've been doing rabbits too for a long while. I did rabbits. I did a lot of rabbits, and we did some cattle. We had horses before. So basically, I into livestock, general livestock in Dominica. Chickens also, we do chickens. So yeah, that's it.
Excellent. And Kim, what was the thing that prompted you to want to go into livestock? Like, what was that initial spark that made you say, you know what, there's something that I want to do?
Well, besides my love for animals, I remember growing up. My father was a banana farmer, right? And we always have a lot of goats, but it's always a side thing. So what really made me go into it? There was a point where my father basically he started getting fed up with the bananas and stuff like that, and so he started slowing down the bananas. And we started having more and more goats. So I recall a few times when like we didn't have any no much money or things was tight, finance was tight, and not really tight, but you're looking for extra change to pay your bills and stuff like that and whatever. And here it is, somebody would come and purchase a few goods from us, and then we'd get back on our feet. We'd be able to buy our school books or buy whatever we needed to put a smile on everybody's face again. So I start telling him, why not go into goats? Whatever money you get, already put in your banners. Just already you have your banners. Just fence it, and you wouldn't have to carry banner boxes in your head and those kind of nonsense like it. And worrying about fortnight and rain and them kind of nonsense. So, well, he never listened to me. That's what most parents do.
Wow.
So, anyway, when I start working in Roseville, I start investing. Every time I get a little change, I started buying the fencing wire and the same areas. I used to suggest to him that he should fence. I started fencing it slowly, fencing it and getting deeper involved in the good business. Made a lot of trials and errors and do a certain nonsense. But I guess that's just learning the hard way. Learning the hard way because when you're doing stuff like that and you have no role models, you don't have nobody doing things proper to say you can look onto them and say, well, hey, that's where Mister doing his thing and that's how we're doing it. Let me copy him or you know do whatever he doing if I like a twist. So in that event, we had to do it the hard way. So yeah, that is one. That is what really gave me the spark to go into it. That gave me the spark. The spark was doing something different, doing something that um, most people not doing and wouldn't challenge because people tend to do things what other people doing, or what other people trying. But I always want to do things different from other people. Not really different, but things that people wouldn't think of doing.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Ordinary wouldn't do, wouldn't
So let
challenge.
me ask you that now. So how many years has it been now since you've been into farming like that or livestock?
Well, let me see. Well, I'm 48 now, if I guess right.
Wow. 48 years.
Yeah, the last time I checked. Yeah.
Boy, boy, boy. Well, you look good for that. It must be yampe you eating like that, eh?
I prefer good meat, probably.
Good meat. Oh, well, that's incredible. That's incredible. Well, thank
So,
you. Yeah,
so with
go
a
ahead.
while, I started doing mechanics, something like I started learning trading. I was 15 years, right?
Wow.
When I left school, I left Vickers and I go to learn trading in Roseau.
Wow.
So from ever since, because I remember, yeah, I remember soon after that, it was a problem. What happened was a problem for me to get employed because I didn't have social security. I did not age to get social security card and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm,
So that
mm-hmm.
is how I remember that well.
Okay.
So what happened? Yeah. So from ever since, as I tell you, every time I start working in Roseau, from ever since I've been doing it.
Wow.
From ever since,
That's
from
amazing.
maybe like it's 18 years, since that 18 years thereabout.
Yes, yes.
I had access to vehicles, so I used to go back and forth from Roseau to Vickers every weekend from ever since.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible. So let me ask you this now. So now you have so many years of experience. Why do you feel that what we're doing as the livestock cooperative is important for farmers in Dominica? Like, why do you think it's important for Dominica, the farmers, the next generation?
Because goat meat, goat meat on a whole is it can be done sustainably, other than chicken farming and kind of pig farming with a twist. they don't really rely on grain. You can raise goats, cattle on just forage and grass. So you don't have to go and depend on grain from America, grain from the first world countries, corn, the soya beans to raise your goats.
Wow.
Anything about around you, you can feed your goats on it. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah. So
So
easy point of entry for anybody.
exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. So you can start small. You can start with two, however you want, and grow it on to wherever you want to be.
Yeah.
Because I used to do pigs two at once, right?
Hmm.
And where what happened is I used to kill pigs basically every weekend or every other weekend. I used to kill pig meat. I used to sell on the market.
Hmm.
But what I realize now, when they have a shortage of grain, of feed, I used to take a hard blow
Hmm.
because when I spend, let's say, $500 to put 200 pounds of weight on my animal, and soon after that they have a shortage of feed, I lost that $500.
Yeah.
There's no way going to get it back.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not sure, but I think the people at importing, that is me saying my thing, right? The
Mhm.
people at the importing the feed at the time have their monopoly on the feed. Is they're not importing the feed, and they are farmers themselves,
Yeah.
so they have no interest in me having my feed on time.
Hmm. Hmm.
You understand what I said?
Yeah.
So I mean, I read between the lines and I figure out, well, that is just a lost thing.
Yeah.
You understand? And I used to do the reason why I used to do well in the beginning is because we had a lot of bananas, we had a lot of plantain and those things there, so we used to subsidize the feed with the plantain and the bananas. But since that
Yes.
cut off, they had the virus in the banners and all those things. A lot of banners died and whatever the case may be. It's just lost altogether. So I
Wow.
realize now, although I used to give my goods, I still giving my goods grain. But even though the boat do come, I do worry them people and their grain.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
So all I have to look after is having my animals for in the rainy weather. I just need to keep them warm and dry so they can fight through the storms. You understand?
Yeah. So the feed having like feed is not necessary for like goat, sheep, and cows
Right.
because they can mostly 99.9%, even 100% rely on grass alone, which is amazing.
Exactly.
So now that
Exactly.
that becomes more of a sustainable way of raising livestock.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's
Because
fantastic.
with goat meat is one of the fastest growing meat in the world.
Yeah.
From the Middle East to the Caribbean, it's growing.
Yes.
And what people realize, everybody into sustainable living.
Yeah.
You understand? Sustainable housing, sustainable farming,
Yeah.
sustainable everything. We need
Yes.
everybody need to have a sustainable life
Yeah.
because you don't want to be relying on whatever on first world countries and in the Caribbean and for anything, and they block the Gulf of Mexico, no boats can come in, then we
Hmm.
stick. All our
Yes.
animals gonna die.
Yes.
You
Yes.
understand?
Yes.
If we
Yes.
look at if we go back in history with this with Barbados. Developed that Barbados black belly because all the other ship they used to import from Europe. They used to have the catadines and all these animals used to die. They couldn't take the heat.
Hmm.
Every now and then Barbados used to have a bad drought. And the only ship that used to survive was the Barbados black belly.
Wow.
Well, it wasn't Barbados black belly at the time, it was just black belly.
Yes.
They just called it black belly. But when they did all the research and they did the research, they realized it's a short hair sheep and it's highly resistant to the heat.
Yeah.
So they start now improving the genetics they had
Yes.
and looking after it. And then right now, Barbados black belly is a big thing around the world. You understand?
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
that is sustainable. You understand?
Yes.
That
Yeah,
is
that's good. And speaking of Barbados scheme, I mean, we have so many good examples now of people, countries, I would say, that are really investing in livestock. For example, Barbados the other day imported 180 pregnant cows to
yeah,
Barbados,
yeah, yeah,
right? Then we saw Grenada just a few months ago come back and spend 4 million EC into livestock just recently, right? Then we saw St. Kitts doing some investment, St. Kitts and Nevis doing
yeah,
some
yeah.
investment into their farmers as well. So I really believe that the world is catching on to,
And
to
the Bahamas,
yes, Bahamas
the
is
Bahamas
importing hundreds and
all the
hundreds of
time,
animals right now.
all the time, all the time.
Yes. So I think a lot of the world is becoming very wise about and aware that it's important to have be self-sustainable right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And what better way to do that on animals with animals that don't need any external inputs, you know?
yeah. So you have animals like sheep and goat. You have rabbits, and ducks. Some chickens. I wouldn't say all chickens.
Yeah,
Some chickens.
yeah.
So a lot of the
Heritage breed chickens.
heritage chickens and stuff like that.
Yes,
Yeah. Mm,
heritage chickens, yes.
yeah. So
Which basically means everybody that you have certain types of chickens that raise are basically back from the original chicken breeds, and they don't really need the type of food that from the meals feed from meals, like other chickens do to produce eggs or to produce meat. So those heritage breeds are very important. Matter of fact, that's something that the livestock cooperative has already done. We've imported lots of heritage chicken breeds, and we have birds on the ground right now in Dominica, right? That we don't need to import feed for. That we can use our fig, our dashing, our scraps from the kitchen, and let them forage, and they'll be okay. You know,
grass and grass.
grass. Oh yeah, grasses. Lots of
Yeah.
grasses.
Mhm.
So we're trying to develop something very special, and I'll show a couple photos of those as well. And Kim, what I really believe is one of the reasons why there's so much theft in the livestock space is because of the value of what we bring, right?
Yeah,
In
yeah,
the
yeah,
livestock
yeah,
space,
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
right? People want access to meat, but if you go on any shelf in Dominica, grocery store, or you will see the price of that imported meat is very astronomical, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So instead of somebody
I
going
can.
and spending $26 a pound in a store, right, which they don't usually don't have to put on that kind of investment, some people rather go steal the animal and butcher
Yeah,
it
yeah,
themselves or cook it by the river or whatever, right?
yeah.
And that's where the problem lies. One of the problems lie.
I'm going to give you an example of how after the hurricane, right? After Hurricane Maria,
Mm,
basically there was a shortage of meat because a lot of chickens died out. It was the first set of animals that died out was the chickens, right? People had those chickens people were growing for like commercial chickens, eggs and
right,
meat. In the first few weeks, they were wiped out, right? And our market, when it comes to chickens, we already can't sustain ourselves, right? So, like some Caribbean countries came to help Dominica with their like with the infrastructure, the poles and those things that was broken down, and they had to feed them. They had to feed the foreigners, right? And that is where I made a bit of money. I was able to sell goat meat um, to Dominic to be able to feed the people that came in to work on the high tension wires and stuff like that.
Wow,
Because there was no chicken. There was basically no chicken and stuff like that to feed the people.
wow. So what
But
that says is, in terms of disasters which we face every year, it is a great plan to have your livestock, because that puts you in a position on your front foot in case there's a disaster,
yeah.
which hurricanes hit us
Mhm.
probably every major hurricane, 20 to 40 years we get hit.
So
That
if we want to be a sustainable country, as you say, you
Mhm.
need to do sustainable farming.
Yeah,
All those, we relying on all the stuff, the chemicals and stuff. If you're a farmer, right, and you need to survive on your farming and
hmm,
what you do, the less you can rely on export subsidies is better for you.
yes, yeah, big
Import
time.
subsidies, I mean.
Yeah, yeah, I get it.
Because
Yes,
all the chemicals you have to rely on to grow your plantain, to grow your dashing. So you ever think if they just pull that off from under your feet, what you going to do?
yeah,
The
yeah,
farmers, you should realize that someday, sometime, somehow, that can be pulled out from under your feet.
yeah,
It
yeah.
can
So it's
happen.
important. It's
So
important.
it's
Yes.
important. It's important to do things in a way. If you're doing pigs, for instance, try it as much as possible. Even though you have the large whites and the Durocs and rely on the grain, you still try to have some Creole pigs so that in case the large whites are going to get a blow from the import feed, you still have your Creole pig that can be raised on grass and fruits without a problem.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
understand?
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yes, of course. So if you look here, Kim, I just want to show everybody. This is an example of one of the breeds that we just heritage chicken breeds that we just brought down.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah.
that. Look at how beautiful that is.
Yeah, they're
Huh?
lovely, they're lovely, they're lovely.
My goodness, look at the breed on that.
Yeah, yeah, they're lovely.
So I just sharing with
Yeah,
you all that what we're doing is really, really, and everybody's sitting nest box on them. How many tires are sitting around all over Dominica? We don't have to use
yeah,
wood to build nest box anymore, right? You can take a tire, cut it in half, and put a nest box up. Everybody see that? So
yeah,
we bring
yeah,
in a
yeah,
lot of heritage chicken breeds right now, so that we don't have to rely on feed imports, for example.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
I hope that's helpful for members of the co-op to know that that's the direction we're going in. We bring in all of the best from the States. And matter of fact, let me give all you a resource for that. If you want to take down this note, go to spnusa.com. Okay? spnusa.com. That is the Sustainable Poultry Network. Okay? I want to make sure we always give in resources. This was formed by a gentleman named Jim Adkins, and Jim Adkins was fed up of the way the poultry industry was going in the States. So what he did is he started to put together a network of people that would be willing to build sustainable poultry, right? And if you look here now, what he ended up doing is he ended up having what's called certified flocks in the US, where he has a list of people now and all of the breeds that they are, breeding, all of the chicken breeds that they're breeding, and you can order from those breeds. Just make sure for Dominica purposes, they are what's called NPIP certified, and I'll tell you more about that next time we talk about chickens. But if you want, for example, Red Dawkins, heritage breed, Salmon Favorels and Well Summers, heritage breed, Golden and Silver Lace Wyandottes, heritage breed, Black Australops, Partridge, and those turkeys here. You can get all of these turkeys, heritage turkeys. If you go down, there's Dominics and Red Dawkins. You can look at more Buckeyes. Here's some ducks as well. So even the Bad or Plymouth Rocks are here, the Delawares are here. So if you wanted to go into chickens and you're like, well, what kind of chicken would help me to maybe have meat, egg production, as well as being in a heritage breed. This is a great resource. I'm going to put the link in the chat for everybody, and you can go on their site and see where they are. And every time people are coming down, we are looking to see if we can send more and more eggs with a permit, of course, from the Ministry of Agriculture. And we're getting those into hatch incubators in Dominica, and we're hatching our own chickens and developing our own breeds now. How nice is that, everybody? Right? So that's part of what we are working to do together, is to develop that even more. So now, everybody, please pay attention closely. I'm going to share a video, and I want to get your feedback on what that video makes you feel. Right? This is a farmer, let me preface this, that has been putting a lot of money into goats. That farmer has built an amazing shed and even put a camera in the shed and has a dog in the yard. Take a look at what a thief did in his shed. You all ready for it? Give me a thumbs up. Take a look at this. I think this is going to blow you away. Let's watch this video together. Not one of them, two of them. Watch that. And these are not cheap goats, everybody. Coming back again. And choosing animals. Choosing animals. And choosing the biggest and the best. Everybody hear the dog barking, right? All right. Well, boy, Kim, when I saw that video, if my blood could boil, boy, I was really, really heartbroken when I saw that, honestly. So let's talk about it, because that's happening right there in Dominica, on our feet, neighboring islands. It's happening everywhere. So you have to press unmute, Kim. Let's get a little reaction here about this video. Hit unmute on your computer.
Yeah, that is something. I don't even know what to say. To tell the truth. But that is where a man can become a criminal very fast. Not a criminal, but you can kill somebody easy. So I believe people, even though you're desperate, you have to think twice before you do what you're doing.
Well, let's talk about it, Kim, because the value of each of those goats, okay? If you're looking at,
Exactly. Yeah.
look at the
Yeah.
value of each of them. First of all, look at the type of structure that's being built. We all know
Yeah.
how much 1 2x4 costs, 1 2x6 costs, hinges, nails, screws. We all know what it takes to really invest in this, because we're all serious, right? And then to put up a camera system, and then to have a dog and to feed the dog. But each of those goats there, when we look at the prices in Guadeloupe, Martinique, next door in our French islands, these goats ranging from €1,000 on the low end to 3,000, 3,500 € on the high end. Okay? Each animal
Upwards,
is
upwards, upwards.
and up sometimes, right?
And up, yeah. Yeah.
And up.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine in that, just in that video that you just saw, you could literally see there was about 15 to 20,000 euro in that, just in that shed of animal value,
Yeah.
of the value of the
Yeah. Yeah.
animals. And the worst part is what these guys did is they came and they chose in animals, like that big female they took. That is a
Yeah.
2,500 euro animal,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? The young males, 1,000 euro each that they were taking.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So people don't understand the amount of energy, time, investment, care, expertise, worming, in dealing with parasites, feeding if they're cutting and carrying or if they're grazing. I mean, some of you on this call, you know how much time and effort it takes. You know, because it's a labor of love.
Yeah, and when everybody going on their holidays on their weekends, you can't go on the weekend. Eh? You
Right.
have to stay there with the animals. Families going out together. Somebody have to stay home to check the
Yeah.
animals. And all those
Yeah.
things have a cost. All those things have a cost. You understand?
Absolutely.
So, uh, um, what I have to say is that people, it's important to invest in security, cameras and stuff, proper dogs, train your dogs, love your dogs. And what I have to say is that, right? Um, I I raise dogs. I used to sell dogs. I used to breed dogs to sell. I used to have the Rhodesian Ridgebacks, the Rottweilers, and German Shepherds. I love dogs, but I cannot have my dog going anywhere without supervision. You understand? If I have my love my dog, I can't say I have it loose out at night, going in people property, doing whatever it feel like, eat poison and those things there. And somebody eat it, I could wash, somebody can shoot it, somebody can kill it. And now it is dead on the streets. I going to say it's not my dog, or I love my dog and point fingers at the person that killed my dog. You understand?
Yeah, we're
Shit
gonna
can
have a
happen.
whole Kim, we go, you know already, we're going to have a whole conversation on that because we have the whole issue of dogs in Dominica, which is a separate conversation. But with to tie in your point there, one of the things that we're looking to do as a livestock cooperative is to bring in actual guardian dogs,
Yeah,
right? We've been talking about that as the leadership team because and those that we talk about the Anatolian Shepherd, we talk about the Pyrenees, we talk about a few of the other breeds, right, that are specifically bred to protect animals because that dog in that yard, if it was a true guardian dog, those fellas could not come in that yard. That dog would kill itself to get inside there, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
one of the things that we're working on as a cooperative is to ensure that we bring in true livestock guardian genetics in
But-
Dominica.
because the guardian dogs can actually sleep in the pen.
Yes,
They can sleep in
exactly.
the pen. They can sleep in the pen, sleep in outside, and even though they're loose, they will stay with the sheep as their guardian.
Yes,
They wouldn't go roaming away and leave the sheep unattended. So that is the
exactly.
difference. That is the difference with a true livestock dog and an ordinary dog.
Yes, that's
A,
correct.
a, a true livestock dog thinks that it is a goat or a sheep, and it is the security of the herd.
Yes,
You understand?
yes. And,
It,
and just so everybody knows, we're going to be bringing on a livestock guardian dog expert, okay, as one of our next webinars. We have a doctor from the University of Texas that will be on with us, and that is his specialty, is developing livestock guardian breeds. So just we have a lot of interesting stuff to share with y'all. And now I want to go over to, for example, take a look at this picture. Okay, everybody, watch this. And I had another one. I hope I'll find it soon. of some fellas that they caught just next door in one of the neighboring islands, right? And I myself couldn't believe how many goats the man fit inside a transport. I couldn't believe it. Unfortunately, the police were able to catch them. But what's that? All of these goats there were inside the back of somebody's transport. Can you imagine that? In a little car, in a little hatchback, Those fellas put one, two, three, four, five, six goats. Is that six or seven? Six goats that inside of a transport. And I had the other picture of them inside the car with a fella in the back of the transport. A picture of that. Can you imagine that? So I know I see Colonel on the call too. But Colonel, I know the other day, maybe last year sometime, um, some people came from a long way from the other side of Dominica and stole 11 of his goats from inside his pen in Portsmouth, right? And can you imagine? I'll get the question on the video just now. And it's thankfully we have the livestock group, and it's a farmer in the group that tipped off Colonel. So, Colonel, I see you on the call. I know you're outside of your animals. Talk to us now if you're available, real quick. Come and talk to us and give us a little bit
Everybody
about your
greeting.
experience there. Welcome, Colonel, everybody.
Everybody. Right now, I want to just say right now, as we're speaking, there is about seven goats right now has just been slaughtered by some dogs right now. So right now, that happened in the live as we speak. And that happened next to me. I actually saw them dogs earlier on about maybe like 2 hours ago, came from the bush. They tried to attack my sheep and them, and then I was wrong, so I had to kind of like shout behind them at the time. So they run back in the bush. So I just did setting some bait to see what can happen tonight because they just killed 7 of my neighbor goats right there. So
Boy, that's a
as we,
heartbreaker. Colonel, like,
yeah, right
please.
now everybody be careful right now. Everybody be careful right now. The dogs going around right now.
Well, Colonel, do me a favor. If you get pictures, please take pictures of them animals that were killed because that's the next call we're going to be doing is
Okay,
the
cool.
trouble with dogs, right? Please take pictures of them animals. But Colonel, let's talk about that experience you had where fellas came from another village in Dominica, very far opposite side. You're in Portsmouth. They came from the other side of Dominica and they stole 11 of your goats, most of
Yeah,
which were pregnant mothers.
correct.
And Colonel, just give everybody a little bit about what that felt like for you, for people to come and you outside like that every day grazing your animals. What did that feel like for you? Just seeing fellas come there and take your animals.
Well, it was kind of like a breakdown, really kind of like a sad vibes. And then it's like if I wasn't like into the animals the way that into the animals, I probably would have given up because I could have probably that take one or so, I would have make it slide, but 10 and then they was pregnant and that kind of threw me off a bit and I couldn't sleep for like the whole entire night. I was just kind of concerned and worried. And then when the morning came, it happened like maybe like after 2 in the morning, 2 a.m. that happened. When the sunlight came out, I went through all the surveillance and them from my neighborhood. Everybody that have camera outside the house and whatever. I asked them for the footage. They gave it to me, and then I end up finding the vehicle through that way because they end up stopping in another location by a 7-Eleven where they was trying to take somebody else's goat. So that's what that gave me that threw them off, and then I kind of trailed the vehicle for some days through. They went through Tarish Pete, they went through St. Joe, they went through Roseau, and then I kind of lose the lead. I get on the lead. I went to Penville, and once I was in Penville, somebody called me from the group and tell me that they see somebody in the neighborhood have some nice animals to check, most likely, and they say somebody that give it to them because the person traveling, so they give it to them, as like probably a gift or whatever. So I went in that village that was Silver Lake. When I went there, I saw them. I saw one of my goats, chocolate. One of them chocolate. I saw it down in a like a in a park area close to the river. I went to the station for like assistance, and then they came, but they came kind of too late. So the time that we went there, they moved all the animals, and them I only ended up getting two. And then the next day, I had to go there and get a partner of mine to fly a drone of the area to see where I could look at them, and which I did. And yeah, I find everything back.
But
So
Colonel,
that,
imagine if you were not persistent. Eh?
yeah, that take about 7 days there yeah, 7 whole days there. It's like yeah, I was every day I was behind that there. And I never really rest properly or sleep properly. I was just like I just couldn't accept that 10, man. I could accept one, but not the 10. The 10 kind of make me feel like yeah, that person they want to finish me, man.
Right. And the other part of that, Colonel, too, is, thank goodness you had connections to somebody with a drone.
Yeah, that was
Because
that was the key thing. We were the drone.
yeah, because when I remember us talking about it in that time, and you found one or two, but then they move when they see that you were coming around, they move the rest of the animals in the bush.
Yeah, they moved them.
You
Yeah, they
remember
moved
that?
them. Yeah, they did.
And when they move them now, it's almost impossible for you to find them in the thick bush, right?
Correct, correct, correct. Especially when I
So
don't
thank
know where to
goodness,
actually go.
yes. Yeah, you can't figure out where they went. And now, if you don't have a drone, you don't have access to drone, you can't pay somebody for the drone service. Then as a farmer, I don't know how many farmers could do that or would do that. But then you lost 11 goats, and then Colonel, what ended up happening? How soon after them goats end up making liquor ones?
But like well, a week after, 2 weeks,
Yeah,
a week, 2 weeks. Yeah, as soon as I get them back, we start dropping.
imagine that. So not only would he have lost the 10 goats, but he would have lost the 10 goats plus each of them give an average of two babies. Can
Two
you imagine
babies.
that?
Correct,
So now you're losing 30 goats, not just 10, because people stealing the animals,
correct, correct, correct.
right? So, Colonel, something that we learned from your experience was number one, even if you have a camera inside your pen, your goat pen, everybody, more than anything, you need a siren. You need something that making noise. We. You need an alarm on your goat
Yeah,
pen.
definitely. The alarm would have been something better because the camera and them because of the night and whatever, they don't pick up the image properly. I mean, you see the person, but you can't really identify who it is. Then kind
And
of
then
ways.
the people putting on masks now when they
And
go
then they
inside
have a
goat
mask.
pens.
Exactly, exactly,
So you can't see their face either, right?
exactly.
So if you watch that
Correct,
video that we just showed there, that just so happened that them fellas they didn't wear masks. But the people that went by Colonel, they wore masks, right? So you
correct,
need an alarm, you need a siren. And one of our members in the DLC, his name is Clinton Basil. Clinton, that's what he does in the States. He's out of Houston, Texas, and he provides alarm services. So the other day he sent a video. Somebody passed by his property in Dominica, and it start calling, "Hello, this is private property. Get off!" And it's a program already in. So once you start hearing those things going off, your alarm going off, and so forth, you're more apt to come and check on your animals right away, right? And nowadays everything is so updated. Your the things showing on your phone too, so you'll hear an alarm go off on your phone as well, and now you know somebody's in your cage, and you can go behind your animals or your pen, right?
yeah, alarm is a good suggestion.
Yes. Colonel, anything else you want to talk about that experience there? Because that was really a heartbreaker for us. But I'm grateful that you were able to find the animals again.
We have to just basically just stay connected and just keep an eye open and an ear open because those things happening, and the only way we can actually get to actually crack down on that is by we working together, collaborating, and putting the ears or eyes out there to listen whether when goods are being sold, because sometimes most people that are being sold, especially right now during this festive season, people out there just driving by with rentals or the private vehicles, and that is the job right now, to teach people animals. So everybody just try to be on the lookout and just try to put your animals inside. a certain time and try to not have them too close to the road if you're tying them out to graze and them kind of with it. Because right now it's crunch time right now for them animals and people going around doing that right now. So that can happen during now, November till December till January gospel life.
Yeah, thanks for that advice, Colonel. And the other thing too is,
And January, February, carnival
yes,
too.
Yeah, a carnival, yeah, all down the
Up
road,
to
yeah,
carnival.
yeah, correct.
yes. And the other thing I was going to say too is, yeah, I'm gonna come to you right now, friend. The other thing we were going to say is, you
I
know,
started.
Dominica Police Force, they have so much responsibility already, right? So, for example, in the states here where we live, they have people specifically called animal police, right?
Okay, okay.
But Dominica doesn't have animal police. You understand?
No.
So most of the challenges that we face, even if we go to the regular authorities, it's very unlikely that they will be able to step in or want to step in or have the zeal to step in. Because, people that raise animals are very caring people from my experience, right? They're loving people, kind people. But if you're not an animal police, I don't know if you'll bring that same level of attention, right? So even though Colonel went to the police and he tried to get the assistance, whatever the circumstances are, he didn't get the help in a timely manner, right?
Yeah, them and
So
delay.
we just want to make sure that we advocate for each other, okay, when it comes to that. Anything else you want to add to that, Colonel?
Yeah, and I think if it wasn't for I think Cedo, I think that get that information. 'Kay, I was in Penville at the time on the hunt because for some reason when I kind of get the number plate kind of buffed out, the number that I got was a number that sent me all the way in Penville, and then Cedo was the one that gave me the info concerning the goats and them in Silver Lake. So I wanted to say, if it wasn't for Cedo and that intel, but we all know, so I'd have been probably I would have lose them animals. So as I say again, it's good for each and every one of us to always have an ear open to hear when it comes to goat, somebody selling a goat or somebody you see somebody bringing a goat in the neighborhood and the person have a reputation. It's good to just put the word out, just post on the group. Anybody missing a goat or anybody know of this goat, even take a picture or something because right now that happening and if you see somebody to say something, your goat just disappearing just like that.
Yeah. Take a look, everybody. Look at how they fit those goats in the transport. Look at that. That was unbelievable to me. Six goats at the back of a hatchback. Look at that. And they end up getting caught. So I'm thankful those guys end up getting caught. But again, if it's not here in Dominica, as you can tell, it's a neighboring island. So my friend, come off mute. You have a question about the video that we showed about the guy stealing the goats from the pen. Good
Yeah,
evening.
it's
Welcome. Tell
Purnell.
us your name.
Hi, I'm Laura, and I know you said it's not my real name, but it's Elsev, Laura Severin here. New to the group. Coming back home. I left Dominica when I was at 2021. I joined the police force and I left there, joined the army. I'm retired and I'm back home, moving back home. And I don't know if Colonel is there still, but I wanted to ask a question of him or even the group if he's not there.
Yeah, he's
Or
there.
you, or if his animals were in a protected area, and I'm not talking about what we saw in the video. I'm talking about the outskirts for his home or his plantation area. Was that protected or fenced, or was it a free area, but then he had a separate area for his animals? That's one of the questions. Then the other question that I had for him, well, not really him. So that was his question. But for you and just getting into the livestock community myself, um, Lester, we microchip animals and we tag them. So
Yes.
what is the process in Dominica for tagging animals? And so when you go and cut somebody animal or take somebody animal, that a regular person who is not a farmer will know, hey, you've all of that and I shouldn't buy it from you, those type of things. So those are my two questions in terms of the area of Cornell's being fenced, and then the tagging of the animals. Wherever you spoke about the report and the police helping, I was a police officer myself, and I'll tell you, we deal with people, not animals. We tend, at the time, it was more or less, yo, that's a domestic issue, that's a civil matter, go to the courts and blah, blah, blah. We don't care about those things, but it is important, right? So I have a new perspective.
Yeah.
And so in that aspect for police, what's in place, or do we have a link or connect to have some sort of balance or assistance with the police force? If not, I would like to volunteer in that aspect because I've been on that side.
Wow.
Okay? When you make a report to a police officer about an animal or whatever, it's not a human being. They don't give a shit about. We don't give a shit. At the time, I didn't know. I'm concerned about somebody who getting raped, somebody who getting murdered, those type of things. So it's not that it's not important, but what's the higher priority? So if that's one of the things the cooperative doesn't have is a link or a liaison to the police to get better communication and support with protecting livestock, that's what I think the cooperative would have. And that's when you were talking about how he did his own homework. He went to all these, boom, 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 boom. And basically, you got the only information, you catch your goat yourself and you bring it to the police and say, "Oi, hello, look all the evidence. That is the person that catch my goat. I have my goat back. Boom. What are you going to do now?" Even then, he got his animals back. What did they do? Probably nothing, right? So we need to bridge that gap as well. About the camera, and this is just extra feedback. The camera, I have cameras that I use for my home too, and they do have sirens. So it all depends on what I saw in the video. That's a great camera, Cornell, in terms of showing you what's happening there. But if you need a siren or something for alerting, it would just be to upgrade your system to a better system because you seem to have good Wi-Fi and everything to catch all of that. For you, Lester, on that video with Cornell, what I wanted to ask was, no, maybe it's not Cornell's, the first one, when they was just picking animals.
Yes.
Where was that?
That's in the French Islands next door.
Okay. So it's not us. So
No.
Hear that. What was the specific picking of the particular? They were very precise on what animals they were picking, right?
Oh, yes.
So tell me, and it obviously is goats. They just there watching one another, like what going on? They talking to one another. What happening? Mary go in, John go in. You know what? They pick specific animals. Can you? I'm new again, so can you advise on that? And that's all I have. So it was the question for Colonel on whether he's placed his fence, the link in the report, a liaison with the police, telling Colonel again, the camera seems good, but if he needs a siren, then he's just upgrading the system because the feedback was great. And then for you again, tagging animals, microchipping, that type of stuff. Where are we with that? And that's all I have right now.
Yeah, great questions. Colonel, you want to go first? Answer Laura's questions about your specific case? If you can, that'll be great. If not, I'll go first. All right. Well, yeah, Colonel,
Yes,
go ahead,
yes.
Colonel.
Concerning the first question, yes, they took the animals from inside the pen. The pen is properly fenced and well secured against dogs or whatever. But human beings, they can break in and do what they have to do. But in terms of like dog getting in, no, it's properly fenced.
Yeah. Colonel setup is actually, if you ask me, like it's it's a secure setup,
For
but
the
you can still
animals,
get in.
for the
Yeah.
animals. So
Yeah,
maybe
but
Yeah.
you might not necessarily need to change the animal setup, but the property setup.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's the same thing for our homes, right?
Right.
Even if we
Right.
have a gate outside our home,
Right.
people can still jump the gate,
Fact.
things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
we just have to come up. I love your idea, first of all, about the animal police, because that's one of the things that was in my head a long time
You
ago.
mentioned that, yes.
And I'll tell you, if we could have one person in Dominica that represents us as a livestock cooperative, with police experience, and if you volunteer for that, we'd be very grateful. I promise you,
I'm in.
because
I'm
we
in.
can, yeah, we can talk to the commissioner, chief of police, and say, hey, we'd like to have a specific liaison who has police experience. I'll be coming down very soon, and maybe that's a meeting that we can have and talk with the police, chief of police, and say this person is willing to volunteer as an animal control officer for Dominica. Boy, that would put us leaps and bounds ahead.
Yeah,
You know?
Mr. Corbett is very familiar with me. I worked with him. So all them people, yes, definitely. I think it's important. And
Yeah,
unless we understand where gaps are, we cannot fill them.
that's right. Yeah. Now to answer it, go ahead, Cornelia. You're gonna say something.
No, I was saying that what you're saying is correct. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. The next thing, along the lines of having microchips in our animals.
And
So,
tagging.
and tagging. There's a company right now named Avid. Okay, so let me share with you from our defense perspective of what we're working to do. So when you have tags in goats' ears, no problem. It's easily identifiable from an outside perspective, right? But if they're going to steal the animal, they can cut off the goat's ears and nobody would know, right? So that's a challenge with the tags. Tags are good, semi-deterrent. The next area that you could put a microchip in is which is very popular for goats, is you can insert the microchip underneath their tail head. So that is the other place where if you have a scanner, that you can just insert a microchip there and you can scan the goat. But again, if they're going to harvest the goat and they steal it for, let's say, Creole season to cook goat water, you will never know. But the third one, I don't even want to talk about it publicly yet here on our call. What we are doing, developing specifically for the DLC members, is we are doing microchips with GPS.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
It doesn't exist yet in the marketplace, but it's being developed for us. Okay, we're going to be the first country to test that on animals in the entire world. That is what's being developed right now. So yeah, so now we're going to have a secret place in the animals, which only the members will know about, right? And then we're gonna start implementing that. Matter of fact, it broke my heart so much, Laura. The other day I got a call from the cooperative division. 30 something cows were stolen in Dominica the other day. 30 something in one shot. I couldn't even believe it when they called me, right? So if we have GPS on the animals, whether they take them in the interior, into the bush, or they put
You
them on a
have it.
vessel and go somewhere, we'll be able
Yeah.
to get it, right?
Yeah.
And prove the ownership. So we're working on that level of security for our animals
Yeah.
as well right now.
Absolutely.
All right, great questions. What else did you bring up that I need to answer for you?
You did the video where the video was that was out. Um, we talk about tagging. I
Yeah.
took the notes on that. The camera for Colonel. The only other thing I didn't quite mention is what's the is there, well, I'll go back to a link with the police. Right now, when somebody steal my goat, is there, never mind, I answered my question. There's no police link. So the reporting is just you make a report and they tell you what you're doing. Never mind.
That's
All
right.
right.
Yeah, that's
All
right.
right.
So
Okay,
that's
cool.
exactly what Colonel experienced in that situation.
Yeah.
Is he followed all the protocol like everybody else would, went to the police station because he found where the animals were. The
Yeah.
police didn't, it wasn't a priority, like you said,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great questions. Thank you for your feedback too, and thank you for volunteering for that. Very
Oh, no
grateful.
problem. I'm here.
Very
Mhm.
grateful. Very grateful. All right. Great. Kim, I want to talk with you about your experience as well, with your animals and getting stolen and what you've had to endure over the years. Colonel, anything else you have to share about that specific experience?
No.
Okay, great. You're clear on your side.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody. So I'm grateful that number one, we have we have things that we're putting in place to ensure that we shore up our sense of security on the inside of us, because we want to make sure that our investments are protected. So I'm grateful that now Laura will go to Mr. Corbett together, have a conversation, talk about a game plan, what that would look like, bring it to the board, bring it to the members, and we can discuss what would make us feel as if we are being supported and actually be supported from the police department when it comes to animals being stolen. But I'll tell you something from a personal experience of mine, okay? So, and people that steal animals are very, very, very cunning and very conniving. So I'm gonna talk from personal experience, right? So my mother is now on paper a senior, even if she's very young at heart. And do you know that one of her neighbors the other day stole several goats from her in a row? Matter of fact, I just happened to be in Dominica when they stole one of the goats. And what I did, and here's a hint for some of you, if you think you know the location or the person, go at night with a flashlight. Okay, the reason is because the goats, the animals, their eyes shine in the nighttime. So I took a very bright flashlight and I was shining in all the yards where I thought the goat would be. And lo and behold, the guy had the goat tied in his yard, one of them tied in his yard. The fella had the goat tied in his yard, right? So me, I'm not afraid of anybody. So I burst the gate. Lo and behold, the partner was inside there watching me the whole time. I went in there. I had a cage on my transport. I put it in the transport. And I called in him because the person told me his name. The next morning, I go and confront him. And he was guilty as all ever. And it's not one he took plenty. I just said, and I wasn't crazy or anything like that. But I said to him, hey, look, first time, last time. And I left it at that. Right? Since then, he asking my mother about goats and how are your goats? And he stole more, He stole more. And I just want to tell all you that don't be afraid. If you know somebody took your animal, bring forces around you. Yes, talk to the police, but again, it might not be a priority. But like Colonel did, like I did, do whatever it takes. But think about that. Can you imagine somebody stealing from a 60-something-year-old person? That is the level of like non-character that thieves have, right? It's like deplorable, right? No class. So when you deal with this type of people, number one, be careful, make sure you do it wisely, but be bold as well, right? Because you have to let them know that you're not afraid, you know who they are, and if they come back, they'll have a situation. Okay? So I just want to tell you that. And if somebody, like, trust me, that's my mother. Everybody in Dominica knows how you feel about your mother. Nobody can touch your mother, say no. That's how I feel. So be bold about your animals and bring the community will stand with you. I promise. All of us, when Colonel said he was missing those goats, all of us start messaging, calling people, and that's how we'll work together with you. So I just want you to know, number one, that this community has your back. And number two, that this community is working together to make sure that we stop these things from happening. So when people see or hear that we are members of a DLC, they're going to know, don't mess with those people because they're organized, because they work together, because fill in the blank, okay? They're united. So with that said, I'm going to open up the call now for, please put in the chat if you have a question. I'm happy to unmute you and you can bring your question forth. I want to thank Colonel for the time he took tonight. Thank Kim for the time he took tonight. But floor is open for more questions, thoughts, feedback, perspective, reaction. I hope that that video brought you, right, some perspective on how bold people are. Yes, Laura, back to you again. I'm going to help you unmute. Go for it. Go ahead. Unmute now.
Thank you.
Yes.
I know I'm new to it. I'm not a farmer, haven't been. I'm not getting into what my forefathers and mothers did, right? Because we're talking about sustainability. I see the value. I'm retired from the army and I'm ready to do that, support that as well. Can be a little, not too late, better late than never. But what my question is on the cooperative and the group, when you talk about providing insight, providing information on how you can protect your animals, from people, from other animals, etc. Are we, and I'm saying we now,
Mhm.
because I'm vested, are we considering that WhatsApp group chat and who's in that chat as well? Because as much as Colonel is saying, hey, somebody stole my goat, we're sharing information. I see it. I have goats, I have pigs, I have chickens, I have that. That in itself is creating a target to different people. Where are you? You know what I'm saying? So I I believe, and I'm a person that's just coming in and I'm a part of the chat, but I'm not a farmer. And I would also surmise there are other people who, how many hundreds or tens or whatever on this chat who have no interest in farming, but they just there to veille, as we would say,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So you could have people in this same chat that are complicit in stealing everybody else's produce,
Yes.
their livestock,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
what I am asking, like I'm grateful that I was able to be a member of this. I am vested and I have an honorable intent. Not
Mhm.
everybody has an honorable or ethical intent. And so what
Yes.
I'm saying, going forward, that's what my input would be on that side. How would the cooperative ensure that people that are in this group, when discussions are being had, when you're having this Zoom meeting, to say, well, I can't say this now. I think it should be mandatory, going back to what we were talking about, and you need to be a member of the cooperative. Put your money in, put your money where your mouth is, and be a part of the cooperative so you can be a part of the chat.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what I think should be very important, because people who are vested in it and put their money in there, you will know. Maybe somebody, you're going to have one too that might put their money and is still divisive or deceiving people, right? You're going to have that regardless. But I think on a grand scheme, if you make anybody who joins this chat, you need to do this. You need
Yeah.
to join the cooperative. I would have done it because my intentions are to be exactly where I am with you guys. So
Yes.
that's the only thing I have, the question I have on that part and the chat.
Yes. Great question. So let me give you some feedback on that. So number one is one of the things that we say in the Dominica Livestock Breeders Chat. Okay. That chat there, when people post their animals, we always tell them, please take the message, please message them privately with your location. Don't tell them on the chat,
On the chat.
I'm in Penville, I'm in Portsmouth,
Mm-hmm,
in
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Soufriere, wherever. Don't say that. Have a DM, talk to the person, have a direct message with them. That's number one. Number two, Laura, livestock cooperative members have a separate chat from that chat. So anybody that pays a membership fee gets into a
Okay.
separate chat,
Okay.
just so you know. Okay. And that chat that's members only, right? Number three, those members receive additional benefits. So one of the things that we were talking about, one of the things that was the mandate from the board this year was fencing material, right?
Yes, I got that.
So this year, fencing was a big deal for us to get into the island. And good news to report, the fencing should be in Dominica in the next few days. We were able to order 200 rolls of wire for our members. Okay. And so I'm so grateful because if we want it to be two ways, right? We want to take care of our animals and we also want to take care of the people,
Protect.
right,
Mm-hmm.
that are in our neighborhoods. So that fencing initiative was big because yes, we get to protect our animals from dogs and we get to protect our animals from going out too. So there's so many
Absolutely.
initiatives that are going on behind the scenes for the livestock cooperative members. And as I said before, we just got awarded a $78,000 grant. And for the people that are here tonight off the record, we are working on another grant that will blow the doors off of livestock in Dominica if we get it.
That's what's
Like
up.
incredible money. Okay. So I'm excited. Thank you for your questions. Great questions, great feedback. And we are learning as we go, right? We don't know everything. We're not perfect, but I promise you, we're working on it together. So thank you for your feedback there.
Thank you.
Yes, my pleasure. Anybody else have a question, thought, feedback, perspective, reaction, opinion? Colonel, I see you have your cowboy hat on, boy. You upgrade on me, boy. Ah. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Anybody else? Kim, any final words? Colonel, final words from you?
My final words tonight there, everybody that has coats right now, be on the lookout because right now, dogs in my neighborhood, and I get some information that there was in Brandy, some part in Brandy, they kill about 30. So they're out, they're out. So let's be careful, everybody.
Wow. Yes, and be careful around the festival season because people are looking to have more meat around this time. So keep your
All that too.
animals close, keep them tight, keep them, protected, and just be on the lookout. Okay. And if
Definitely.
anything comes up, please let us know in the chats. And I look forward to the next sessions. We also have the livestock guardian expert coming on, so look out for that session. We have one called larceny and predator larceny specifically, which is the dogs. We'll have a specific segment on the dogs. And if I showed you some of the pictures, that we get in from our members about dogs killing their animals, my friends, you would cry. You would cry. You would cry. All you want a preview? All you want a preview of the next thing? You want a preview? If you squirmish, look away now. Please look away. Look away. Can you believe dogs did that? Can you believe dogs did that? Can you believe local dogs doing that? Break my heart. Broke my heart. So if anytime dogs do something to your animals, please, 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 please send us pictures. We are keeping records. So when we go to Commissioner Corbett, we can say, Commissioner, but look at that now. Look at what the dogs are doing. And it's the same Brownie and Whitey, that in the neighborhood in the daytime, wagging their tail, rubbing on you. Nighttime, they turn into those predators there. So that's coming next. We have a whole catalog of pictures, photos to show. That one's going to be graphic. So prepare your mind. But we're going to show you what dogs doing in Dominica, and you'll see it's a real problem. All right, everybody? We appreciate you all. Have a great night. Thank you for taking the time to be on with us. And more good news to come. We look forward to many more sessions together. Okay? Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Everybody, good night.
Good night, everybody.
Aye, mama.
Colonel boy, I am here to come and help you tonight.
Boy, tonight they're sleeping there.